Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Linda, a special needs educator, child neuropsychology and a speech and language pathology. So today we are hosting a guest again, and I'm telling you, for this video you just have to chill. For this video you just need your book, you need your pen and your ears and your eyes on this. So I'll invite my guests who we have on our channel today. Welcome, Miss.
Thank you very much. My name is Miss Meg. I am a Key Stage 3 and 4 English teacher. I've also taught in the learning support departments in the past, where I taught children how to read, the ones who are struggling with phonics, how to blend and segment sounds.
Oh, thank you for that. And today we are going to talk about children generally, not specific children, not like special children alone. Today we are going to talk of children generally. Children, you know, children are they are so close to my heart. So generally we are now going to talk generally about children, and these we are going to look at how can we support, how can we help, how can we improve, how can we build a culture of reading for our children. You have a child who is in 6 years, 10, 12, 15, and they really don't like reading. How can we support them? What are the tips can we give you as a parent or give you as a teacher? And then you work on supporting the children. And Meg is going to take us through all these supporters and gives us tips that can help us. So Meg, here we have children who are struggling with reading, who don't like reading, who they're time takers when it comes to reading, who like they don't like reading. You know, there are those ones who don't even like reading.
Yes.
So you as a teacher, as an English teacher, generally how do you support those children? Because parents want to know and we want to support them.
Okay,
thank
you. So one thing you need to know about reading, it's just like any other skill that you have. For you to love doing something, then it means you have to be able to do it. You need to develop the capability for the learners to be able to read. Okay. You just don't tell them to read, yet they do not know how to read. You know,
sure.
It's like telling somebody take this car and drive on Thika Road all the way to town, but they don't know how to do it. So they will not love doing what you're asking them to do. So the first thing you need to know is that children need to be taught how to read. They need to be taught from the very basics, the foundations, reading, sounds, phonics. That's what we call it.
Okay, now this brings me to a question. When you talk about reading sounds, or children need to be taught how to read, do you mean that there are children who are struggling with reading at their higher level just because there were no good foundation that was laid for them?
Yes, because when a child is starting school and they're being taught sounds, they're simply being held to be supported in being able to put together sounds, to put together words to form a sentence, to put together paragraphs to form a story. Now you need to start from the foundation level where you teach them. This is letter T, it makes sound T. When you combine it with another sound, it makes this sound, you know. So you need to start from the basics. So maybe the children who could be struggling at an older age were not introduced to the basics of reading. They were not taught how to do phonics. They were not taught how to identify the letters that make which sounds. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
so they were just given a book and told to read. No, you don't do that. You need to start with phonics, teach them from the very lowest of sounds all the way to the complex ones.
Parent teachers you have hand. The start point of developing a culture of reading, it is being able to teach children how to read. So when children are on their age of 3, 4, 5, on the starting of the early years, and there is no good foundation of reading that was introduced to them, then the later age they may struggle with reading. So if you're having a child who is less than 6 years, please work on building a good foundation for them. Yes. Then Meg, what's the next point when it comes to reading?
So after now they have known, they have a solid phonological awareness. Yes. They know the sounds.
What do you mean by solid phonological awareness, for the sake of those who are watching?
This is simply the ability of the students or your child to learn that this is letter B, letter B, and it has this, it makes this sound B. This is letter G. It can make sound G or J. You know,
Okay.
yeah, for them be able to differentiate these two sounds.
So that's what we call solid phonological
awareness.
Yeah. Then after that,
Now, because they are able to acquire knowledge through reading, make it interesting for them. Give them books that are at their level. Don't give them books that are very hard, too complex, because they will definitely not enjoy reading.
Sure.
So you need to be sure that the book you're giving your child, if you're going to the bookshop to get them a storybook, make sure it is a book that will not challenge them out of the race. If you want them to continue reading, you have to get them books that are at their level. And then after that, this is very intentional. You have to create time. You have to create time to read with your child. If you're lucky that to have your child in a school that has reading time, you know, like 20 minutes before the lessons, 20 minutes at lunchtime, then that's fine. But then at home, because some schools don't have that facility, at home you need to develop this timing that every week, or maybe weekday or weekend, we have to get 20 minutes read. We sit down and read with you. It becomes, the consistency is inbuilt in the child in such a way that they know every Tuesday at 4 p.m. I need to sit down and read a book for 20 minutes.
Okay, I would like you to elaborate when you say the reading level of learners, because I know of a child who is 10 years and being given a book for 5 years, and someone who is 10 years and being given a book to read for someone who is 20 years. Do you think there's a mistake? Maybe there's something we can do to correct, you know, to make sure that they are, or how can you guide parents when it's come to reading levels? Like giving the learners or the children the right books to read for their age level.
Yes, you need to identify the level of your learner.
Okay.
We have tests online that your child can take just to identify which level they are at, maybe beginner or just level 1, 2. Sometimes they are color coded. I'm on red, I'm on green, I'm on blue. There are some sites online that are free. You can subject your child to that test so that you know when you're going to buy a book, which level are you buying for them.
So you can check on sites.
Yes, you can check online, and it doesn't have to be according to age, because you have learners who are 5 years, but they're reading books for learners who are 8 years. We have those who are 10 years, but their reading level is 13 years. So there's no problem in that.
No problem in that. Okay,
yes.
you hand that parent. There is no problem with giving your books as far as they're able to read.
Yes.
The whole thing is that you want them to read. Whether your child is 5 years old and reading the book for 10 people or for 10-year-old, it is just okay. As far as they're able to read and understand.
Yes.
So what's the next thing? How do we again help these learners who now have no culture of reading?
So now, after you have identified the level and you have developed consistency, like every week we have to read a book, every weekend you have to read a book, that consistency needs to be sustained for a long time.
How possible is that?
Well, we understand that people don't have time because they are working, their parents are very busy, but your child can read to an elder sibling, they can read to a relative who is around. Make use of anybody. Just reading aloud to an adult.
Then that means you need to buy books. And then books in the street. You can even write your own paragraphs. Is that okay?
You can buy books. I saw some going for 50 bob on the streets when I was coming. You can get books online. You can write your own books. Your children can write their own books for their siblings to read. There is so much that can be read. And it's not only books that they need to read for your information. We need to cancel that mentality that we all need to introduce kids to reading books. It's not just books that can be read.
Okay.
Children can read road signs for you. They can read menus for you.
Road signs.
Road signs. When you're driving with your child, let them read for you the road signs. You need to turn left, turn right, go ahead, go straight. You need to have your child read for you the menu when you go to a hotel and you're having lunch. Let them read the menu for you. Let your child also read recipes. If they want to learn how to make tea, print out for them the recipe for making tea. If they're interested in football, print out for them instructions how to do it, how the do-it-yourselves that people are loving so much. Can you print out the instructions for them? There's so much. They can read even game instructions, movie names. They can write menus for you, recipes for you to cook if there's something they know.
So we should not submit children to just reading books, which can be boring by there for kids. It can be boring for children.
Yes.
Like read storybooks. You can just give them a recipe for them to read.
Yes.
They're all designs, as you say.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, after identifying things you can give your child to read, you need to you need to train them to read independently. Let them get to a level where they don't have to have you there seated so that they can read. Just get books in your house, in the living room, in the bedrooms, wherever. Books, like 5 books, 2 books. Just let the kids be surrounded by books and materials to read. They will be able, with time, to be picking one, reading. If it's a recipe, they'll pick and read. Can I try to do this? If it's a cake recipe, they can say, oh, can I try baking this cake? The only thing is, you have to read the recipe. Yes. So if your kid grows up around books, they will somehow get acquainted to the habit of picking one book. When they are 3 or when their cartoon they are watching is boring.
Oh yeah, like cartoon. We have children watching cartoons at home.
Yes.
So now if they are watching cartoon, now you can tell them, for you to watch this cartoon, I want you to read for me. If they are not able to read a complete word, they can break it down into letters. Which letter is that, or which sound is that?
But don't make it look like a punishment. That if you can't read this, then you will not watch cartoon. No, they will not read it, because they're not reading to love reading. They are just reading to get permission to go and watch cartoon, which is not ideal.
So
it should not be like
that. Kind
don't use that kind of. Oh, if you don't read, you will not go to visit I don't know who and who. If you don't read, you will not watch this. No, you make them hate reading. Make it lovable. If they are going to their friends for a sleepover, tell them, on our way to your friend's house, will you read me a story? Or will you tell me a story that you read? Make it something that is normal.
Okay.
Yes.
So reading, you can make it as interesting by making them read what they love.
Yes. Make reading interesting for learners by giving them opportunities to read what they love. If your child loves football, there's so much information about football that is online. Children can read. There's so much they can read about art and craft. There's so much they can read about cooking, about dancing. Get them materials that are in their areas of interest. Yes.
Okay. So now we are there. They are able to get the materials of reading. They have a good phonological foundation. They are now aware of the phonology, the sounds, the letters. They are now reading the movie books. They're now reading the signs, the road signs, and and things that are interested on. What's the last comment can you give when it's now to children who are now they are not able to do any of the above and they are completely struggling with reading? And they are the hinge is gone. They are like class 5, they are year 6, in class 7, and they're truly struggling with reading. They can't read a paragraph. They don't have a good phonological foundation. It was not laid there for them.
Yes.
They were not encouraged to read the road signs. There were no reading culture completely that was encouraged for them. And they are watching, their parents are watching. What do you, what are the final sentiments that you can give us about such children? How can we support such children?
There's no shortcut. You have to be able to start from the foundation.
Okay.
They have to learn the sounds. Don't make your child feel like they're so late. If they are 5 years and they cannot read a sentence, they are 6, they cannot read a paragraph. Don't make them feel like they are left behind. You can always start from the foundation. Start by teaching them phonics, and there's so much material online even for these phonics. There's so many games that kids can get involved in online. If they get bored easily reading the hard copy books, switch the materials, but the foundation and the process has to be like that. Also, if your child is maybe struggling very much to read, it could be because the materials that they're coming across are not interesting for them. So if you have identified what they love doing, if they love gardening, they love beauty or anything to do with skincare, you can get the materials yourself as the adult or as a parent or guardian and start to read out aloud to these children. Once you keep reading out aloud for them, they will start developing interest in doing it the way you are doing it. And with time, they will also want to read out aloud to you. Give them the same book you have been reading to them. Give them the same material. Let them repeat it. You know, because repetition will create that ability for the kids to be able to remember. There was this word that came after this. This is how you say this sound. This is how you read this sentence. And once they have that, and especially if it is a book they have loved so much, let them read. Even if they're reading it 10 times, let them read it 10 times to different people in different occasions, during their birthdays, on your way to a function, when you have visitors. They can repeat the same book.
Same book.
Yes.
Okay. So repetition is one way of helping the older one.
It helps develop fluency.
Yeah,
fluency in reading, because
so they have to like keep on repeating, even though it's a paragraph.
Yes.
They can repeat that paragraph over and over and over and over.
Yes, because once they repeat, they become very fluent in it, and that boosts their esteem and confidence in reading. And once they have developed that fluency, because now with fluency, you have a good speed for reading, you have a clear expression with your intonation, the accuracy is okay, they will want to read more. So once they are okay with that paragraph or that small book they have been reading, they will want another book that is almost the same for them to continue reading, because now they enjoy it since it's something they can access. Get them another book that maybe has rhyming patterns. If a child comes across words that rhyme in a book, they will want to read it so that they just hear themselves reading and repeating those sounds. And with time, they become so aware of what letters make which sounds. And because now they are getting an ability to read, they start feeling proud of themselves. They will now start going out of their way. Oh, can you get me another book like this? If it is the author, because people have different areas of publishing. If it's maybe the author who publishes books about animals, you can specialize with that one. You don't have to move to nature. You can let the child continue picking books from that same line of,
Oh, that's amazing. So you have earned how we can support children.
Yes.
And as we finish and wind up this video, I also point out that make sure there's something we call loud reading.
Yes,
reading aloud. Whereby now you get a book that looks the same. Then as you read, they're also reading. You read for them as they reason, as they also read, as they see and as they listen.
Yes.
That will also help if your child is they're higher hinges and they're struggling with reading. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you watch and share it with everyone that you know out there. It was nice having you, Meg, in our video today, and we'll have another video for you. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you watch and you share. See you the next video. God bless.